Have you ever wondered what it feels like to soar over the Himalayas, the tallest, most sacred mountains in the world, alongside birds so legendary they're practically gods? Imagine this, a bird with feathers so vibrant it looks like a living rainbow, perched on a cliff edge, watching over an entire valley like a guardian. Sounds like something out of a myth, right? But what if I told you these birds are real, and they're not just living in the Himalayas, but protecting its spirit? Today we're diving into the skies above India, where some of the most sacred birds in the world call home. From the legendary Himalayan Monal, with its dazzling feathers, to the fierce golden eagle, revered by yogis and hunters alike, these birds are more than just creatures of flight. They're symbols of power, mystery, and ancient tradition. So what's the most sacred bird in the Himalayas? Well, stick with me, because the answer is more unexpected than you think. And it might just change the way you see the sky. If you had to pick one bird to represent the entire Himalayas, would you choose the one that looks like it walks straight out of a treasure chest? Because that's exactly what the Himalayan Monal feels like. A living gemstone perched on the roof of the world. Picture this: cold morning air rolling off the mountains, sunlight breaking through the clouds, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a burst of neon blue, emerald green, and fiery copper flashes between the pines. Your brain's first reaction isn't, "Oh, that's a bird." It's more like, "Wait, did someone turn on a spotlight out here?" And here's the question that always pops into people's minds. How does a bird that colorful survive in a land full of snow leopards? Well, here's the fun twist. In the shade of rhododendron forests, those rainbow feathers turn dark, almost black, blending in like magic. Nature didn't just give the Monal beauty, it gave it a disappearing trick. Now, if you ask local herders, monks, or even Himalayan trekkers, they'll tell you the Monal isn't just a pretty bird, it's a sign, a guardian, a symbol that the mountains are watching. In some villages, seeing a Monal on your journey is considered good luck, like the Himalayas giving you a small nod of approval. But the Monal also has a playful side. Males will hop, strut, flash their feathers, and shake their heads dramatically during courtship. It's like watching a Vegas performer do a full show for an audience of one. And the female? Half the time, she just looks away. Like, really? We're doing this again. Still, there's something deeper going on with this bird. The Monal has survived landslides, predators, brutal winters, and centuries of human stories. It's one of the few creatures that truly represents the duality of the Himalayas. Harsh, yet beautiful, dangerous, yet holy. So here's the debate I want you to think about. Is the Himalayan Monal sacred because of its beauty? Or is its beauty just the outer layer of something more ancient? Something these mountains have been teaching humans for thousands of years. If the Himalayas had a heartbeat, this bird just might be it. If there's one bird on this list that absolutely refuses to be ignored, it's this one, the Indian peafowl, the peacock, the national bird of India, the sacred companion of Krishna, and quite possibly the most dramatic creature ever to walk on two legs. Now here's the question that hits you the moment you see one spread its tail. Did nature really need to go this hard on a single bird? I mean, come on, that tail isn't just decoration. It's a full light show. Blues, greens, golds, eye spots shimmering like tiny universes. If the Himalayan Monal is a gemstone, then the peacock is the entire jewelry store. But here's the fun twist. Those feathers you're hypnotized by, they're completely useless for flying. Yep, zero aerodynamic value. The peacock basically said, who needs physics when you've got style? And style is exactly how this bird wins hearts. During courtship, the male doesn't just show his tail, he performs. He shakes it, rattles it, vibrates it so fast the air hums. It's like watching a Vegas headliner doing a spiritual dance routine. And the female? She'll stand there calmly, tilting her head like a strict judge in a talent show. Good form. Maybe a bit more sparkle next time. Now here's where things get deeper. In Hindu culture, the peacock is sacred not because it's beautiful, but because of what it represents: purity, immortality, protection from snakes and evil spirits. That iconic feather Krishna wears in his hair, it's a symbol of divine playfulness, but also cosmic balance. And here's something to debate. Do we admire the peacock because culture told us to? Or because the moment we see one, something ancient inside us goes, yeah, this is what beauty is supposed to look like. Despite the glamour, peafowl are survivors. They navigate monsoon storms, predators, village life, and temple courtyards with the same confidence they bring to their dance floor. They're loud, bold, theatrical, and strangely, never out of place. So let me ask you, is the peacock sacred because it's beautiful, or beautiful because it's sacred? Either way, when that tail opens up, the Himalayas aren't the only thing holding your breath. Let's take a step deeper into the sacred, where beauty is not just seen, but felt. Meet the black-necked crane, a bird that isn't just part of the landscape, but a living, breathing symbol of compassion itself. Imagine this, high up in the Tibetan plateau, surrounded by snow-covered mountains and misty valleys, this elegant bird stands tall. With its striking black neck and bright red crown, the black-necked crane doesn't just blend in, it commands respect. It's a symbol of peace, a spirit of the land that's revered by Buddhists and considered one of the most sacred creatures in the Himalayas. But here's the twist. For all its grace, the black-necked crane is a warrior in disguise. These birds are fiercely territorial, defending their nesting grounds with the same strength as the mountains they inhabit. They're not just passive, ethereal creatures. No, they fight for what's theirs, protecting their home with a quiet strength that mirrors the very mountains of Tibet. Now let's get into the fun facts. The black-necked crane is known for its elaborate courtship rituals. Male cranes will perform a series of graceful dances, hopping and bowing, lifting their wings in an almost ritualistic display. It's like watching nature's own ballet, with each step carrying centuries of tradition. The dance isn't just for show, it's a powerful bonding ritual, ensuring that they stay connected to one another in a way that's as mystical as the land they inhabit. And here's the question I want you to think about. Why do we attribute such deep symbolism to certain animals? The black-necked crane isn't just a bird, it's a bridge between the human and the divine. It's believed to carry the prayers of the people up to the heavens, guiding souls on their journey. So, what do you think? Is it because the bird's beauty is so striking that we can't help but elevate it to a higher power? Or is it the deep cultural connection, the reverence of the land, that gives it its sacred significance? In many ways, these cranes represent what many hope to find: peace, balance, and connection to something greater. So next time you're near the Tibetan plateau, if you're lucky enough to spot a black-necked crane, don't just see a bird, see a spirit of the mountains, a guardian of peace, a protector of the sacred. Now imagine this. You're standing at the base of Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. The air is thin, the winds are brutal, and you can feel the weight of centuries pressing down on you. But then you look up, and what do you see? A goose. A bar-headed goose, to be precise, and not just any goose. This one is flying over Mount Everest, soaring at altitudes that would leave most creatures gasping for air. You might think, wait, how is that possible? Well, this goose doesn't just adapt to high altitudes, it thrives in them. With its incredible ability to fly at nearly 9,000 meters, the bar-headed goose is one of the highest flying migratory birds on the planet. It's like the ultimate sky athlete, defying every limit humans and other animals would call impossible. This bird doesn't just pass through the Himalayas, it conquers them. Fun fact, during its migration, the bar-headed goose crosses Everest not once, but twice, going from its breeding grounds in the Tibetan plateau to the Indian subcontinent and back. That's not just a casual flight. These geese are undertaking one of nature's most epic journeys, navigating some of the most treacherous weather on Earth. And somehow, they manage to thrive at those insane altitudes where oxygen is a luxury. But here's the twist. While they're known for their soaring abilities, these geese are also symbols of endurance and spirituality. In India, the bar-headed goose is often linked with the divine. Its flight over Everest represents a connection between the physical world and the heavens, an ascent to the gods themselves. The question here is, do we view this bird as a symbol of physical strength, or is it something more, a spiritual messenger, soaring from earth to sky in search of something greater? And let's talk about that. Why are some birds tied to the heavens? Is it the sheer feat of flying over one of the harshest places on earth? Or is it the cultural and spiritual significance they carry with them? So next time you hear the wind howling through the peaks of Everest, just know, somewhere high above, the bar-headed goose is gliding effortlessly, carrying the stories of the Himalayas on its wings. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to stumble upon a bird that seems to have stepped right out of a mythical forest, the Satyr Tragopan is the answer. This bird doesn't just live in the wild, it embodies the wild. Imagine trekking through the misty high-altitude forests of the Himalayas, where the air is thick with mystery and ancient legends. And then, out of nowhere, you hear it, a rustle of feathers, a flash of red, and suddenly, there it is. The male Satyr Tragopan, standing before you in all its glory, the angel bird of local folklore. Fun fact, this bird is so dramatic, it could put Hollywood actors to shame. When the male Tragopan wants to impress a female, he doesn't just walk around, no, he struts his stuff. Tail feathers spread wide like a fan, head raised in pride, and every step a performance. And if you're lucky enough to see it, you'll witness a display so vibrant, so full of life, that it might make you wonder if you're in a dream. But here's the twist. For all its flashy feathers and flashy moves, this bird is actually one of the hardest to spot in the wild. The Satyr Tragopan doesn't hang out in open fields or wide, exposed meadows. No, it's a master of camouflage, blending seamlessly into the dense forest, only revealing itself when it's ready to make its grand entrance. Why is this bird so revered? Perhaps it's because it combines beauty with mystery, grace with fierceness. The Satyr Tragopan has been part of the folklore for centuries, seen as a divine messenger between the earthly realm and the spirit world. In local tales, the bird is sometimes called the angel of the forest, and its presence is said to be a sign of protection and good fortune. Here's the debate. Is the Satyr Tragopan revered because of its striking appearance, or is it the myth behind it that makes it so sacred? What do you think? Is it the bird's beauty or the legends it carries with it that make it so powerful? Either way, one thing's for sure. This bird knows how to make an entrance, and it does so with style, mystique, and a little bit of attitude. Imagine walking through the dense tropical forests of the Himalayas, and suddenly a flash of white and black darts past you. A bird with a tail so long, it looks like it's trailing a silken ribbon through the air. This isn't just any bird. This is the Asian paradise flycatcher, a bird so graceful, it seems to glide between worlds. Now let me ask you, have you ever seen a bird that seems to float rather than fly? The Asian paradise flycatcher does just that. With its long, ethereal tail feathers trailing behind it like a comet's tail, it moves through the air with a kind of elegance that feels more like magic than biology. When it takes flight, it looks like something straight out of a dream. Fun fact, the tail of the male flycatcher can grow up to 26 inches long. That's longer than most of its body. And it's not just for show. This tail is the bird's ticket to fame, used to impress potential mates in an elaborate courtship display. But here's the catch. The tail doesn't just grow by chance, it's a symbol. In Hindu culture, the Asian paradise flycatcher is often associated with the divine, seen as a symbol of light, purity, and the celestial realm. It's as if this bird is walking the line between the earthly and the spiritual. But here's the twist. For all its celestial beauty, the flycatcher is a hunter. This bird doesn't just flit around looking pretty, it hunts insects, darting through the trees with precision, its long tail acting like an extension of its own body, guiding it through the air like a well-practiced acrobat. So is it a delicate angel or a fierce, determined predator? Now here's something to think about. Why do we attribute such divine qualities to birds like this one? The Asian paradise flycatcher has been revered for centuries, but is it because of its appearance or because it represents something deeper? A message, perhaps, from the heavens, reminding us of the beauty of balance between lightness and strength. What do you think? Is this bird more than just a pretty face with a dazzling tail? Or does it embody the very spirit of nature itself, balancing the fragile with the fierce? Now let's take a leap into the world of one of the most powerful and revered birds in the entire Himalayas, the golden eagle. If the peacock dazzles with beauty, then the golden eagle commands respect with raw, untamed power. This bird isn't just a symbol, it's the living embodiment of strength, freedom, and grace in the skies. Imagine standing at the edge of a jagged mountain cliff, the wind howling around you, and then, high above, you see it, the golden eagle. With its massive wingspan stretching out to over 7 feet, it soars effortlessly above the snow-capped peaks, the very definition of freedom in flight. Fun fact, the golden eagle can hunt at speeds over 150 miles per hour. That's faster than most sports cars. So when this eagle dives, it's like watching a missile in action, striking with precision and power. And it doesn't just hunt for small prey. It's known to take on animals much larger than itself, from foxes to even young deer. Talk about a top-tier predator. But here's the twist. Despite all its power and ferocity, the golden eagle is also deeply tied to the sacred. In falconry, a practice that's been a part of human culture for thousands of years, the golden eagle is considered the ultimate bird of prey. These eagles are trained by skilled falconers to hunt alongside them, and in some cultures, they're seen as a symbol of divine connection between man and nature. So what makes the golden eagle sacred? Is it its ability to dominate the skies, to hunt with unmatched skill and precision? Or is it the reverence we give it as humans, recognizing this bird as a divine creature, a bridge between our world and the spiritual realm? Here's a question to ponder. Do we make these birds sacred because of their power? Or is there something within us that sees their strength and sees something much more profound? A symbol of the gods, perhaps? Either way, one thing is certain. When the golden eagle flies, the mountains seem to bow to its wings. It's not just a bird of the Himalayas, it's a guardian of the skies, a protector of the earth below. Now let's move from a symbol of strength to a creature of mystery, the bearded vulture, also known as the dragon that eats bones. This is a bird that lives in a realm of its own, so much so that its very existence seems like something straight out of a myth. Picture this. You're high in the mountains, where the air is thin and the ground is rough. And then from the sky above, a shadow looms large. It's the bearded vulture, with its wingspan stretching up to 9 feet wide. This bird doesn't just fly. It commands the wind, drifting over jagged cliffs like it owns the sky. But here's the crazy part. This vulture doesn't just scavenge for food like most birds of prey. No, the bearded vulture has a rather unusual diet. It's a bone specialist. Unlike other vultures that feast on flesh, this bird swoops down to pick up bones, and then, with a twist of its beak, it drops them from high above the cliffs, smashing them into smaller, edible pieces. Talk about a bird that knows how to make dinner interesting. Fun fact, the bearded vulture's diet is so unique that it's sometimes referred to as a bone breaker. In fact, 70% of its diet consists of bones. Yes, bones. And get this, it's not just any bones. It prefers the marrow inside, the rich, nutrient-dense part of the bone. If you ever thought vultures were just scavengers, this bird is here to show you it's a skilled chef of the mountain. But here's the twist. Despite its somewhat unappetizing diet, the bearded vulture holds a deeply sacred place in many cultures. In Tibetan Buddhism, it's seen as a spiritual symbol of transformation and regeneration, due to its ability to break down the bones of the dead and give new life to the earth. It's a reminder that from death comes new life, that nothing in the natural world is ever truly wasted. So here's the question. Do we see the bearded vulture as a creature of darkness and death? Or do we admire it because it's a symbol of renewal and rebirth? Is it the bird's bizarre diet that makes it sacred? Or is it its connection to the circle of life itself? Either way, one thing is for sure. The bearded vulture is not your average bird of prey. It's a mythical creature that teaches us that beauty and transformation can be found even in the most unexpected places. Imagine a bird so large, so powerful, that it's said to carry the very souls of the departed to the heavens. Meet the Himalayan Griffon vulture, a creature so sacred in the Himalayas, it's revered as a guide for the soul. This bird isn't just a scavenger, it's a spiritual guardian of the skies. With a wingspan that can reach over 8 feet, the Griffon vulture soars effortlessly over the rugged Himalayan mountains, surveying the land below like a watchful protector. And when it catches the wind just right, it rides the currents with grace, floating on air as if it has no care in the world. Now here's the mystical part. The Himalayan Griffon vulture plays a pivotal role in sky burial, a sacred Tibetan practice where the dead are offered to vultures. It is believed that the vulture, as a creature of the sky, has the power to carry the soul of the deceased upwards to the gods. In this way, the vulture is seen as a bridge between life and death, carrying the spirit from the mortal world into the spiritual realm. Fun fact, despite its somewhat gruesome role in the ritual, the Griffon vulture has long been a symbol of purification and renewal. In many ways, it's a reminder that death is not an end, but a part of a cycle that's as natural as the mountains themselves. The vulture doesn't just take life away, it transforms it, giving back to the earth and the sky. But here's a twist. While it's revered for its connection to the afterlife, the Griffon vulture also faces threats of its own. Over the years, poisoning and habitat loss have decimated populations, and now these sacred birds are at risk of disappearing from the very skies they've been guardian of for centuries. So here's the question. Is the Himalayan Griffon vulture revered because of its connection to death and the afterlife? Or do we admire it because it's a symbol of the eternal cycle, where life, death, and rebirth are forever intertwined? Think about it. These birds are more than just creatures that fly above the mountains. They are keepers of souls, carriers of ancient traditions, and they remind us of a truth that the Himalayas themselves embody. Life doesn't stop. It changes, it transforms, and it continues. Now let's step into the realm of myth and mystery, where serpents and eagles guard ancient secrets of the Himalayas. Meet the crested serpent eagle, a bird that, quite literally, watches over the sacred serpents of the mountains. Imagine this, high in the trees, in the dense forests of the Himalayas, the crested serpent eagle perches, its sharp eyes scanning the ground below. It's not just looking for its next meal. Oh no, this bird is a guardian, and the serpent is its sacred charge. As its name suggests, the crested serpent eagle specializes in hunting snakes, swooping down with incredible precision to capture its prey. But here's where it gets fascinating. The eagle doesn't just kill for survival. It's part of an ancient ecological balance, controlling the serpent population and ensuring the harmony of the ecosystem. Fun fact, the crested serpent eagle is known for its striking appearance. With a distinctive crest on its head and its piercing yellow eyes, it's as if this bird was designed to look as majestic and mysterious as the mountains it calls home. Its feathers are a dark, powerful brown, blending perfectly with the shadowed forest canopy, allowing it to strike swiftly and silently. But here's the twist. While this eagle is revered for its hunting prowess, it's also considered a spiritual guardian in many cultures. In Hindu mythology, the eagle is often associated with Lord Vishnu, one of the principal gods, who is depicted riding a bird of prey. So while it's a fierce hunter, the crested serpent eagle also carries divine weight. In some traditions, it's believed to protect the sacred realms, watching over both the natural and spiritual worlds. Now let's ask the big question. Is the crested serpent eagle revered because of its hunting skills, or is it its connection to the divine and the natural balance that makes it so sacred? When we look at this majestic bird soaring through the mountains, are we seeing a fierce predator, or are we witnessing a protector, a guardian of the earth, watching over the creatures that dwell within? What do you think? Is it the eagle's power over the serpent that makes it sacred? Or is it the belief that this bird carries the weight of the divine, bridging heaven and earth? Now let's take a step back, high above the jagged cliffs and snow-covered peaks, to meet a bird that's as much a sentinel of the sky as it is a symbol of the mountains themselves, the Himalayan buzzard. Imagine standing on the edge of a craggy peak in the Himalayas, the wind biting at your face, and the vast expanse of mountain ranges stretching for miles around you. You look up, and there it is, the Himalayan buzzard, gliding effortlessly on the thermal currents, its wings spread wide, eyes scanning the land below. This bird doesn't need to flap its wings constantly to stay aloft. No, it's a master of the skies, using the wind to ride high, just as the mountains themselves have stood tall and unmoving for millennia. Fun fact: unlike most birds of prey, the Himalayan buzzard is a patient hunter. It'll soar for hours using the wind to keep it aloft, always on the lookout for its next meal. It doesn't rush or make sudden moves. Instead, it's the epitome of calm, waiting for the right moment to strike. It's like nature's version of a philosopher, observing, reflecting, and then acting with absolute precision. But here's the twist. Despite being revered for its skill and patience, the Himalayan buzzard is also seen as a symbol of wisdom. In local traditions, the buzzard is often associated with the watchful eye of the Himalayas, always present, always aware, but never hasty. Its presence is believed to offer protection, guiding travelers and pilgrims through the rugged terrain of the highlands. Now here's the big question. Is the Himalayan buzzard revered because of its role as a skilled hunter, or is it the wisdom it represents, the calm, patient watchfulness of the mountains, that makes it sacred? We often talk about eagle-eyed vision, but is there something truly divine about the buzzard's way of seeing the world? Slow, steady, and with an unyielding focus? So what do you think? Is this bird a hunter, a symbol of divine patience, or a little bit of both? Next time you look up at the vast, unending sky of the Himalayas, ask yourself, is the buzzard watching over you too? Now we leave the sky for a moment and step into the deep, shadowed forests of the Himalayas, where another kind of guardian rules. Not a giant eagle, not a sky rider, but a bird of the undergrowth. Meet the collegiate pheasant, the quiet protector of sacred forests in Himalayan folklore. Picture this. The morning mist still hangs low, sunlight barely filtering through the dense canopy. And then, a flash of black and silver slips between the trees, the collegiate pheasant. It's not as showy as its cousin, the Monal. It's not glowing like a living jewel. But look closely, and you'll notice something else. Presence, confidence, a kind of calm bravery that comes from knowing the forest as well as you know your own home. Fun fact, while most pheasants rely on bright colors to attract attention, the Kalij pheasant does the opposite. The males wear sleek black plumage with blue and silver highlights, blending into the forest shadows. It's like a tuxedo designed by the Himalayas. The females, earth-toned, subtle, smart, perfect camouflage for raising chicks in a forest full of predators. And here's the twist. In many Himalayan villages, the Kalij pheasant isn't just another forest bird. It's seen as a guardian spirit, a bird believed to protect travelers who move through the woods. Some elders say that if a Kalij crosses your path, the forest is granting you safe passage. If it hides from you, well, maybe you should rethink that journey. There's something deeply storytelling about that, right? A bird that doesn't fly in grand circles above the mountains, but instead guards the pilgrimage paths, the shrines hidden in valleys, the old foot trails monks once walked centuries ago. So here's a question worth pondering. Do we respect the Kalij pheasant because of its subtle beauty, or because it represents something rare today, a quiet protector, a humble guardian who doesn't need bright colors or soaring heights to matter? Think about it. In a world obsessed with flash and spectacle, perhaps the forest needed a guardian who works in shadows. If the Kalij pheasant is the guardian of the shadows, then the blood pheasant is the soul of the highlands, a bird whose crimson feathers speak of ancient legends, spiritual power, and the sacred link between the earth and the divine. Picture this. You're deep in the Tibetan plateau, surrounded by the towering mountains that kiss the sky. The air is thin, the world silent, and then you hear it, a soft rustling in the underbrush. And there it is, the blood pheasant, its vibrant red feathers glowing like embers against the snow-covered ground. It's a bird that feels as if it's been painted by the hand of the gods themselves. Fun fact, the blood pheasant is named for its distinctive crimson plumage, a deep, rich red that looks almost like it's been dipped in the colors of the sunset. But here's where things get interesting. While its beauty is undeniable, the blood pheasant isn't just a creature of the earth. It's a bird that's spiritually charged, tied to the monasteries and sacred places of Tibet. In Tibetan culture, the blood pheasant is considered a symbol of purity and spiritual renewal, a bird that can cleanse and protect the sacred lands it inhabits. But here's the twist. For all its spiritual significance, the blood pheasant is also a mysterious creature. It's elusive, almost ghost-like, wandering the remote and rugged terrains where few humans tread. It's a bird that's seen, but often not captured, like a spirit flitting between the cracks of reality and myth. Now let's ask the bigger question. Why is the blood pheasant so deeply revered in Tibetan culture? Is it its striking appearance, those red feathers that seem to burn like fire? Or is it the deep connection to the spiritual world, the belief that this bird embodies the very essence of transformation and renewal? Could it be that the blood pheasant is a symbol of the Earth's pulse, a reminder that even in the harshest, most remote places, life and spirituality still thrive? So here's a challenge for you. Next time you see a bright red feather fluttering through the snow, don't just see a bird. See the spirit of the mountains, see the energy of the land, see the blood pheasant, a creature of legend, a living testament to the power of transformation. Now let's step back into the forest, not the shadowy, quiet parts, but the lively, echoing corridors where color and sound bounce between the trees. Here lives the yellow-billed blue magpie, a bird so bold, so bright, and so full of personality, you might swear it's the forest's official spokesperson. Imagine this. You're walking along a mountain trail, minding your business, when suddenly something streaks past your face. Electric blue wings, a long white tail, and a bright yellow beak that looks like it was dipped in sunlight. That's the magpie making an entrance. And trust me, it always makes an entrance. Fun fact, the yellow-billed blue magpie is one of the most social and honestly nosy birds in the Himalayas. These guys travel in noisy flocks, calling back and forth as if they're gossiping about every hiker, monk, and passerby. If birds had neighborhood committees, these magpies would run the whole operation. But here's the twist. Beneath all that noise and color lies something sacred. In many Himalayan communities, especially near monasteries, this bird is considered a protector spirit. Monks often refer to it as the forest guardian, a creature that warns of danger, watches over travelers, and even announces visitors before they arrive. Think of it as the Himalayas alarm system, but a lot prettier. And here's where things get interesting. Magpies are incredibly intelligent. They can recognize faces, use tools, even solve puzzles. So when one of these flashy blue birds stops and stares at you, don't take it lightly. It's not just looking, it's evaluating, deciding if you're friend, foe, or just another clueless human in its territory. Now here's a question worth chewing on. Why do the loudest, brightest creatures often end up being the protectors in folklore? Is it because their presence is impossible to ignore, or because their intelligence and courage simply feel like the qualities of a guardian? The yellow-billed blue magpie isn't just a splash of color in the forest. It's a watcher, a messenger, a feathered sentinel standing between the human world and the wild. So next time a blue streak zips past your ear, don't duck, just nod back. The guardian of the forest might be saying hello. Let's journey deeper into the forests of the Himalayas, where the trees grow tall and the air smells of earth and rain. Here, amidst the towering trees and thick underbrush, lives the rufous-necked hornbill, a bird whose very presence feels like a blessing from the heavens. Picture this, you're trekking through the dense jungle, the hum of insects filling the air, and suddenly a deep, resonant call echoes through the trees. You turn your head, and there it is, The rufous-necked hornbill, its enormous curved beak shining in the dappled sunlight. The bird's feathers are rich with reds and blacks, and its powerful wings beat the air with a rhythm that feels almost ceremonial. Fun fact, the hornbill's beak is not just for show, it's as functional as it is striking. This bird uses its massive bill to crack open hard fruits and nuts, its strong neck muscles providing the force to break through tough shells. It's like nature's toolmaker, perfectly designed for the environment it inhabits. But here's the twist. The rufous-necked hornbill isn't just about physical power. It holds deep cultural significance in many communities across the Himalayas. In local traditions, the hornbill is considered a symbol of rebirth. Its life cycle, from hatching in the hollows of ancient trees to emerging as an adult, ready to roam the skies, mirrors the cycle of life, death, and renewal. In fact, it's often seen as a divine bird, an embodiment of nature's continual regeneration. The hornbill's nesting behavior adds to its sacred aura. During breeding season, the female seals herself inside a tree cavity, relying on the male to feed her through a small opening. This act of separation and dependence is viewed as a symbol of harmony, of balance between the feminine and masculine, and the divine connection between the earth and sky. So here's the question. Why is the rufous-necked hornbill so revered across cultures? Is it its physical might, or is it the deep spiritual symbolism attached to its life cycle and rituals? In a world where everything feels temporary, perhaps this bird's story of renewal and rebirth is exactly what we need to remember. The rufous-necked hornbill reminds us that nature, in all its fierce beauty, is always transforming, always evolving, just as we are. Now let's step away from the flashy colors and powerful wings and take a moment to appreciate the quiet guardian of the Himalayas, the black bulbul. It's not the loudest bird, nor the flashiest, but there's something deeply calming about its presence in the shadowy corners of the highlands. Imagine walking through a remote cave or a monastery tucked away in the mountains. The air is cool, still, and filled with the scent of incense and ancient wood. And then you hear it, a soft, soothing call echoing through the silence. It's the black bulbul, perched in the shadows, its plumage dark and understated, blending into the peaceful surroundings. Fun fact, while the black bulbul may not stand out like the vibrant peacocks or dramatic hornbills, it plays a key role in the delicate balance of the Himalayan ecosystem. These birds are known for their sweet, melodic songs, often heard in the early hours of the morning. They're not loud like the magpies or the hornbills. Instead, their calls are gentle, almost meditative, making them the perfect companion to the quiet, reflective atmosphere of Himalayan caves and monasteries. But here's the twist. While the black bulbul may seem like a quiet observer, it has deep spiritual significance in local cultures. In some traditions, it's believed to be a protector of those who seek enlightenment in the mountains. Monks and spiritual seekers, who often meditate in the caves of the Himalayas, consider the black bulbul to be a companion on their journey, a bird that silently watches over them, guiding them through their spiritual path. Now let's think about this. Why is it that the quietest, most unassuming creatures often hold the greatest spiritual power? Is it because they teach us the value of stillness, of listening, of tuning into the subtle currents of life? The black bulbul, in its peaceful existence, embodies that lesson, that in a world full of noise and chaos, sometimes the most powerful messages are those we hear in silence. So what do you think? Is the black bulbul sacred because of its quiet nature, or because it represents something deeper, the power of stillness, reflection, and spiritual protection? Now let's take a moment to meet a bird that, with just a flash of color, can transform any dull moment into something extraordinary. The white-throated kingfisher, a bird as striking as it is symbolic. Picture this. You're standing by a river in the Himalayas, the sun's starting to rise and the world around you is still waking up. And then, wham! A burst of electric blue and white zips past your eye. It's the white-throated kingfisher perched on a branch, its sharp eyes scanning the water below, waiting. This bird isn't just a flash of color, it's a master hunter, the ultimate symbol of vitality and renewal. Fun fact, the white-throated kingfisher's striking blue feathers aren't just beautiful, they're perfectly designed for its role as a hunter. With that bright plumage, it has an almost mystical presence, like a guardian of the waters, watching over the rivers and lakes where it hunts. It waits patiently, eyes locked onto the water, and when the time is right, it plunges with lightning speed to catch its prey. Usually a fish or sometimes an unfortunate frog. But here's the twist. This bird isn't just known for its hunting. It also has deep spiritual significance in Hinduism and Buddhism. In many stories, the kingfisher is a messenger of vitality, a bird that symbolizes the flow of life and water. Water is sacred, and where the kingfisher flies, it represents both life and renewal. Just like the river itself, constantly flowing, never stagnant. Now here's something to think about. Why is water so closely tied to spiritual life? And why does the white-throated kingfisher symbolize that connection? Is it because water is the lifeblood of the earth? Or is it because this bird, in all its beauty and skill, teaches us the importance of patience, focus, and timing? It waits, watches, and then strikes with purpose in a world where we rush and chase. Maybe the kingfisher's lesson is to slow down, observe, and wait for the right moment. So what do you think? Is the white-throated kingfisher sacred because it embodies the flow of life? Or because it represents the timeless lesson of patience and precision? Now let's take a deep dive, literally, into the world of the brown dipper, a bird that isn't content with just flying through the air. This little water-loving creature is perfectly at home beneath the surface, and it's here to remind us of the power of water and its sacred flow through the Himalayas. Imagine standing on the banks of a fast-moving stream, the icy waters tumbling over rocks, the air crisp and fresh. You hear a soft plop followed by a quick ripple in the water. And there it is, the brown dipper, darting underwater like it's been doing this for centuries. Diving headfirst, swimming effortlessly, and coming up with its catch. This isn't just any bird. This is a true water spirit, completely at home in the currents. Fun fact, the brown dipper is a specialist in its element. Unlike most birds that avoid water, the dipper actively seeks it out. It's one of the few birds in the world that can dive beneath the surface and swim to catch its prey, usually small aquatic insects or fish. Its feathers are specially adapted to keep it dry and buoyant, making it an expert in navigating fast-moving streams. It's as if this bird was born to move with the flow, never fighting against it. But here's the twist. The brown dipper isn't just a creature of nature. In the sacred culture of the Himalayas, water is life, and the dipper is a symbol of the purity and spiritual essence of the sacred rivers that run through these mountains. In Hinduism, the Ganges River is considered the holiest river in India, and the brown dipper is often seen as a messenger that keeps the water pure, moving, and full of life. The question here is this: why is water so closely tied to the divine? Why do people view birds like the brown dipper as messengers of the sacred flow of life? Is it because water sustains us, or because it has the power to transform, cleanse, and renew everything it touches? And let's not forget, the brown dipper thrives where few other birds can. It's a reminder that sometimes, to find balance, you have to dive deep, embrace the current, and let the flow of life take you where it needs to go. Sometimes the most spiritual moments come when we allow ourselves to be swept along by something greater than us. Now let's wander to the edge of sacred waters once again, where the white-capped redstart reigns as a guardian of purity and flow. This small yet striking bird is often seen perched on rocks by fast-moving streams, where its bright white cap stands out like a beacon of light in the midst of nature's bustle. Picture this: the sun is setting over a Himalayan river, the sky painted in hues of orange and pink, and in the golden glow, you spot a flash of white and red. It's the white-capped redstart with its vibrant plumage and bold presence, standing watch over the flowing waters. Though small, it carries with it the weight of spiritual significance, as if the river itself has chosen this bird to embody its eternal rhythm. Fun fact, this bird is often called the river sentinel because it's so closely tied to the flowing waters of the Himalayas. The white-capped redstart is a master of the riverbanks, flitting along the rocks, searching for food, and serenading the river with its melodious song. Its bright red tail feathers are as fiery as the sun setting over the water, a beautiful contrast to its white head, which shines like a symbol of purity amidst the flowing current. But here's the twist. While it may seem like just another river bird, the white-capped redstart holds deeper spiritual meaning in the Himalayas. In many traditions, it is associated with the purity of the waters, the cleansing flow that brings life and renewal to the land. The bird is often seen as a messenger, connecting the natural world to the divine waters that flow through the region. In Tibetan culture, rivers are sacred, often seen as veins of the earth carrying both physical and spiritual nourishment. And this little bird, it's thought to carry the spirit of the river itself. So here's a question for you to ponder. Is the white-capped redstart revered because of its beauty, or because it symbolizes something more? Is it the river's purity and power that makes this bird sacred? Or is it the bird's connection to the spiritual flow of life that we honor? Maybe it's both. The bird and the river, inextricably linked, each carrying a part of the sacred truth of the Himalayas. This little sentinel reminds us that sometimes the smallest creatures carry the most profound messages. And in the flow of water, we can find both life and spirit intertwined. Now let's turn our gaze to the vibrant forests of the Himalayas, where a burst of color catches your eye. The slaty-headed parakeet, a bird that seems to have been plucked straight from the pages of ancient Tibetan art. Imagine walking through the dense forest, the air thick with the scent of pine and earth, when suddenly a flash of green and blue darts past you. It's the slaty-headed parakeet, its rich emerald green feathers and slate blue head standing out like a living painting. Its vivid colors reminiscent of the elaborate murals you might find in a Buddhist monastery. Fun fact, the slaty-headed parakeet isn't just about its striking appearance. These birds are incredibly social, often seen in small flocks, chattering and flying through the trees. They're extremely intelligent, known for their ability to mimic sounds and even human speech in some areas. In fact, they're often seen in temples and monasteries, where their presence is said to bring joy and good fortune. But here's the twist. The slaty-headed parakeet has more than just beauty and brains. In Tibetan culture, the parakeet is associated with spiritual wisdom and harmony. The bright colors of the bird are said to represent the colors of enlightenment. And in some Buddhist art, these birds are depicted alongside deities, symbolizing communication with the divine. The question that comes to mind is, why do we see certain birds like the slaty-headed parakeet as symbols of spiritual wisdom? Is it their bright colors that catch our attention, or do we admire them because of the messages they represent? These parakeets, with their joyful calls and colorful plumage, seem to remind us that spirituality doesn't have to be silent or somber. Sometimes it's vibrant, loud, and full of life. So what do you think? Is it the bird's playful nature that makes it sacred? Or is it the symbolic link between the parakeet's colors and the quest for enlightenment? When we see them in the trees, chattering away, are we witnessing a messenger of joy and wisdom, or just a bird living its life? Either way, the slaty-headed parakeet leaves us with a lesson. That wisdom can be colorful, lively, and full of joy. It's a reminder that, even in the most sacred places, there's room for lightheartedness, for laughter, and for bright bursts of color. Now let's venture higher, much higher, into the realm of the Himalayas, where only the toughest creatures dare to tread. Meet the Himalayan snowcock, a bird that thrives in some of the harshest environments on Earth. These birds don't just survive the high altitudes of the Himalayas, they own them. Imagine standing at the edge of a snowy cliff, the wind cutting through the peaks, and you hear it, a call, loud and clear, ringing through the valley. It's the Himalayan snowcock, its distinctive call echoing off the mountains as it calls to its mate. A sound that's as wild and untamed as the landscape itself. This bird isn't just about surviving the cold, harsh winds of the Himalayas. It thrives in them, its feathers adapted to protect it against the bitter cold and snow. Fun fact, despite its name, the Himalayan snowcock isn't a true cock, or rooster, but a member of the grouse family. These birds are known for their strong legs, Built for navigating steep, rocky slopes and deep snowdrifts. They're elusive, hiding in the cliffs and valleys, only revealing themselves to those who venture far enough into the highlands. And despite their hardy nature, they are also incredibly vocal, often heard calling from the rocky crags. But here's the twist. In many cultures, the Himalayan snowcock is viewed as a symbol of the mountains themselves. With its solitary, elusive nature and its ability to thrive where most creatures would falter, it's seen as a guardian of the high altitudes, a protector of the rugged peaks and the sacred, untouched land. The snowcock represents endurance and strength, reminding us that even in the most extreme conditions, life persists and even flourishes. Now let's dive deeper. Why is the Himalayan snowcock so sacred to the people of the region? Is it because it can survive the toughest conditions on Earth? Or is it the bird's connection to the mountains? A reminder that nature is both beautiful and fierce. It's a bird that asks us to embrace our inner strength, to endure, to rise to the challenges that life throws our way. So, here's a question. Is the snowcock a symbol of endurance because it survives the mountains? Or is it sacred because it thrives in them, in ways only a few can? What does this bird represent to you? A guardian, a survivor, or something more? High on the snowy slopes of the Himalayas, where few creatures dare to tread, there lives a bird that seems to disappear into the landscape, the snow partridge. This bird isn't one to draw attention. It thrives in silence, blending perfectly with the cold, barren terrain of the highest altitudes. Imagine this. You're trekking through the deep snow, surrounded by the towering peaks of the Himalayas. The air is thin, the world around you silent except for the crunch of your boots in the snow. You glance down and, for a split second, spot a bird that is practically invisible against the backdrop of snow and rock. It's the snow partridge, its feathers the perfect camouflage for its harsh, high-altitude habitat. A true master of survival in one of the most unforgiving places on Earth. Fun fact, the snow partridge is so well adapted to the cold that it can remain almost invisible even when it's right under your nose. Its plumage, a mix of brown, white, and gray, helps it blend seamlessly with the snow-covered ground, giving it an almost ghostly presence. This bird is built for the extremes, with short wings and powerful legs that help it navigate through deep snow and rocky crags. But here's the twist. For all its ability to disappear into its environment, the snow partridge isn't just a survivor. It's also a symbol of endurance and adaptability. In the culture of the Himalayas, this bird represents the strength to persevere through even the harshest conditions. Just as the snow partridge has learned to survive in the cold, steep mountains, it reminds us that we too can endure, adapt, and thrive in the face of challenges. So here's the question. What makes the snow partridge so sacred? Is it its ability to blend into the mountains, to be one with the land? Or is it its quiet strength? A bird that chooses the harshest environment and thrives in it? In a world that constantly demands visibility, the snow partridge teaches us the value of patience, subtlety, and strength in silence. Maybe true power isn't always about being seen. Sometimes it's about thriving in the shadows, enduring when everything else seems impossible. Now let's turn up the heat, not literally, but with a bird whose brilliance is enough to light up the entire Himalayan landscape. Meet the fire-tailed sunbird, a creature so vividly beautiful, it seems to carry the fire of the mountains themselves in its feathers. Imagine this. You're trekking through the dense forests of the lower Himalayas, where the air is warm and thick with the scent of blooming flowers. You pause to catch your breath, and then, in a flash of red and gold, the fire-tailed sunbird darts past you like a living flame, its tail trailing behind like a streak of fire. It's a bird that radiates energy, life, and color. A tiny spark of nature's fire, lighting up the trees and skies wherever it flies. Fun fact, the fire-tailed sunbird is one of the most beautiful sunbirds in the world. Its iridescent plumage glows in the sunlight, especially the fiery red tail feathers that give it its name. These little birds are incredibly agile, zipping through the air like hummingbirds feeding on nectar from Himalayan flowers. They're not just pretty faces, though. These sunbirds play a crucial role in pollination, helping to keep the delicate ecosystems of the Himalayas thriving. But here's the twist. Despite its fiery appearance, the fire-tailed sunbird isn't just a symbol of beauty, it's also a symbol of renewal. In many Himalayan cultures, the bird is seen as a harbinger of good fortune and vitality, as its bright colors remind people of the life-giving forces of the sun. In a way, this bird is a messenger, a reminder that, just like the sun rises each day to bring light and warmth, we too can find new beginnings, no matter how dark the night may seem. So here's the question. Is the fire-tailed sunbird revered because of its radiant beauty? Or is it the deep connection to nature's vitality that makes it sacred? Could it be that this tiny creature, with its fiery tail, represents something much bigger than we see on the surface? Something like the energy of the mountains themselves? What do you think? Is it the bird's brilliance that makes it sacred, or is it the deeper life force it represents? Either way, one thing is clear. The fire-tailed sunbird is not just a flash of color in the trees. It's a fire that burns bright, reminding us of the warmth and power of life itself. If there's one bird that can steal the spotlight without even trying, it's the chukar partridge. A bird that's as cheeky as it is charming, and with a love for the moon that might just make you smile. Imagine this. The sun is setting over the Himalayan foothills, the sky painted with soft pinks and oranges, and in the fading light, you hear it, the unmistakable call of the chukar. It's not a loud call, but it's full of personality. The bird itself, with its bright markings, stands proudly on the rocky terrain, almost as if it's posing for the world. The chukar partridge doesn't hide. It's got its own rhythm, strutting around with confidence, never too far from the moonlit horizon. Fun fact, the chukar has a fascinating connection to the moon. In fact, local folklore often refers to the bird as a moon lover. It's said that the chukar's love for the moon is so intense, it calls to the night sky, especially when the full moon rises high above the Himalayas. Its gentle, repetitive chukar calls seem like a song dedicated to the celestial body. Some even believe that the bird's call is a reflection of the moon's energy. Calm, rhythmic, and constant, pretty romantic for a bird, right? But here's the twist. As much as the chukar is known for its love of the moon, it's also a symbol of devotion. These partridges are incredibly loyal to their mates, and their behavior mirrors their deep bond. Unlike many other birds, the chukar pairs for life, often seen together, foraging, walking, and even sleeping side by side. In a world full of fleeting moments, this loyalty and devotion to one another stand out, making the chukar not just a bird of beauty, but a symbol of lasting love. So here's the big question. Why is the chukar partridge so connected to the moon? Is it because of the bird's nightly serenade to the stars? Or is it the bird's unwavering loyalty and devotion that makes it sacred? Perhaps it's both. The call of the moon, the love it inspires, and the commitment that shines through in the bird's own behavior. What do you think? Is the chukar partridge a moonstruck lover, or is it a quiet reminder that real love, like the moon, is constant and always returning? Now let's end our Himalayan journey with a bird that doesn't just live in the mountains, it creates them. Meet the spotted nutcracker, the final guardian in this sacred lineup, and the quiet architect of the Himalayan forests. Picture this. You're hiking through a high-altitude pine forest. The air smells of resin and cold stone. The wind sings between the branches, and suddenly, you hear a sharp, rattling call echo overhead. There it is, a brown and white speckled bird, perched with the confidence of a creature that knows it runs the place. The spotted nutcracker, a bird with a mission and a memory that would put most of us to shame. Fun fact, the nutcracker stores thousands, yes thousands, of seeds every year, hidden in crevices, buried under rocks, tucked into soil. And here's the kicker. It remembers almost all of them. Scientists tested it. This bird's memory is so sharp, it can relocate caches months later, even under thick snow. But the seeds it forgets, those grow into trees. Entire Himalayan forests, pine, spruce, fir, owe their regeneration to this one little bird. And here's the twist. In Himalayan folklore, the nutcracker isn't just a forest bird, it's the messenger of the mountain gods, the being that carries life between realms. Villagers say, when forests return after a harsh winter, it's because the nutcracker was blessed to scatter life where death once rested. So here's the question. Is this bird sacred because of what it symbolizes, or because of what it actually does? It doesn't have the flash of the firetail sunbird. It doesn't have the power of the golden eagle, but it has something deeper. Purpose. It plants, it builds, it remembers. It gives life back to the mountains that give life to everything else. Think about that. What's more divine, soaring high and fierce above the peaks, or quietly planting the next generation of forests, one seed at a time? What do you think? Is the spotted nutcracker a humble gardener, or the true guardian of the Himalayas' future? And there you have it, 25 incredible birds, each a living testament to the spirit of the Himalayas. From the radiant feathers of the Himalayan Monal to the quiet strength of the spotted nutcracker, these birds are more than just creatures of flight. They're guardians, symbols, and messengers of the mountains, each one carrying a piece of the Himalayas' soul. Whether they soar high above the clouds, stand watch over the sacred rivers, or quietly weave their way through the forests, they remind us of the timeless bond between nature and spirit. The Himalayas aren't just mountains. They're a living, breathing entity, and these birds are the keepers of its secrets. So which bird spoke to you the most? Was it the majestic golden eagle, the playful fire-tailed sunbird, or perhaps the mysterious Himalayan snowcock? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear which of these sacred creatures left the strongest impression on you. Remember, these birds aren't just stories. They're real, and they're out there, protecting the highlands, just as they have done for centuries. If we listen closely enough, maybe we can still hear their calls echoing through the mountains.